originally wasn't going to cover this story because I read the headline and I was like, there's no fucking way this is real. But then I actually read the article and it's real. So this is coming off The Atlantic. I don't normally tend to go to them for news because you have to sign up and I don't want to give more people my email and it's just a pain in the ass. And I find their stuff to be really hit and miss. But someone did put a gift link in the thread where I found this on Blue Sky. So I was like, let me look at it. And lo and fucking behold, the headline was accurate. And this nation is so fucking embarrassing right now. So this is from Jeffrey Goldberg from The Atlantic. The headline is, "The Trump administration accidentally texted me its war plans." It's good. It's great. National security is at an all-time high.
And Pete Hegseth, this is like hammered Hegseth.
Yeah, the guy who said he was going to stop drinking if he got the job.
But he's still getting fucking hammered.
He's gotta be. U.S. national security leaders included me in a group chat about upcoming military strikes in Yemen. I didn't think it was real, but then the bombs started falling. So he goes into a little bit of a backstory about what's going on in Yemen, and then notes that shortly before 2 p.m. Eastern Time on March 15th, the United States was bombing targets across Yemen. I, however, knew 2 hours before the first bombs exploded that the attack might be coming. The reason that I knew is that Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, texted me a war plan at 11:44 a.m. The plan included precise information about weapons packages, targets, and timing. Just some random guy.
And so, like, given, like, what time, some folks might start their day, I wouldn't be surprised if a Hegseth, if he starts his day not too dissimilar from myself, right, up in the morning, doing this stuff, and if he's having lunch by 11, what did he have to drink with his lunch that had him sending that text message at 11:45?
Oh, don't worry, it gets better.
Oh, fuck me.
Right, so they note that this started, that what's going on right now started in 2023 between Israel and Yemen and like all the fighting that's going on. I'm not going to cover it because that's really not important to the story, but that's just like, so we've been bombing Yemen for a couple years. Like, that's really all you need to know. Like, it's been a thing. And of course, one of the things Trump did is say that Biden was too soft on Yemen and he was going to do more and he was going to drop more bombs and blah, 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 right? So this is where it really starts. March 11th, so a couple days before the attack, the author, I just forgot his name, Jeffrey Goldberg, said, "I received a connection request on Signal from a user identified as Michael Waltz. Signal is an open-source encrypted messaging service popular with journalists and others who seek privacy on text messaging services. I assumed that the Michael Waltz in question was President Donald Trump's national security advisor. I did not assume, however, that the request was from the actual Michael Waltz. I've met him in the past, and while I didn't find it to be particularly strange he was reaching out to me, I did think it was unusual given the Trump administration's contentious relationship with journalists and Trump's periodic fixation on me specifically. It immediately crossed my mind that this could be someone masquerading as Waltz in order to somehow entrap me. So I received the connection request, hoping that this was the actual national security advisor, and he wanted to chat about Ukraine or Iran or some other important matter. 2 days later, on Thursday at 4:28 p.m., I received a notice to be included in a Signal group chat." So first they incorrectly add him on Signal, then they added him to the group chat 2 days later. Right.
Yeah, what is, like, it's one of them things, like, it's a massive gulf of nothing between the two potential reasons. That Hegseth is hammered, or somebody's like, this would be just fucking hilarious if we do this. And that's kind of the feel, because again, J.D. Vance is 2 years younger than me. Yeah. I cannot stress that enough. So J.D. Vance was in his teens when 4chan started, and I guarantee you he's used that website. Like, he is a LOLs guy, big time.
I'm willing to bet that they meant to put someone else in the group chat and didn't check it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm betting it's just the wrong number.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they added him to the, what was it called? Houthi PC small group. The Houthis are the rebels in Yemen that they're bombing.
Yeah, I can never remember how to spell that right.
I'm pretty sure I'm not even pronouncing it right, honestly. So a message from the group from Michael Waltz read as follows: Team establishing a principles group for coordination on Houthis, particularly over the next 72 hours.
Wait, establishing a principles?
A principles group.
Establishing a principles group.
Yeah, I guess that's what they call it for the military thing. When you get like your key people, like before you do an invasion or a bombing, you have a principles group.
Are you required to word everything like Trump? Establishing a principles group. Like, that sounds like wash the cheeseburger with the garden hose. Fine.
So we're establishing a principles group for coordination on the Houthis, particularly over the next 72 hours. My deputy, Alex Wong, is putting together a Tiger team, all right, at the deputy agency chief of staff level, following up from the meeting in the sit room this morning for action items, and we'll be sending that out later this evening. The message continued: please provide the best staff POC from your team for us to coordinate with over the next couple days and the weekend. Thanks. So the term Principals Committee generally refers to a group of senior-most national security advisors, including the Secretaries of Defense, State, and the Treasury, as well as the Director of the CIA. It should go without saying, but I'll say it anyway, that I have never been invited to a White House Principals Committee meeting. And in my many years of reporting on national security matters, I have never heard of one being convened over a messaging app. Yeah, it doesn't seem like something you should have on Signal. So these are the people who are in this group chat. MAR, Marco Antonio Rubio, right? He's in there. J.D. Vance was in there. Someone named T.G., who is presumably Tulsi Gabbard.
Something about hearing Marco Rubio's whole name. It makes me want to hear Ted Cruz's father talk again.
Oh, no.
Isn't that just a joy? Just hearing that guy go at it.
Yeah, Marco Antonio Rubio.
Yeah, it took me back.
Yeah. J.D. Vance, T.G., so presumably Tulsi Gabbard, Joe Kent, Scott B., who is Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, and Pete Hegseth was in there, and Dan Caldwell is some guy who works for the Department of Defense, Brian, who is apparently Brian McCormick from the NSC, and John Ratcliffe, who is in the CIA. So all these people are just in a fucking uncrypted chat somewhere on Signal.
I swear to fuck, to some degree, like, this is gonna make people like me start actually answering my phone when there's unknown numbers. Because that just might be Hegseth's drunk ass, and I might be able to get some info to the people.
And then there's more names that he said that he's not going to publish because they are active intelligence officers in the CIA. So there's also just a bunch of CIA guys in there.
How easy would it be to fucking catch one of these niggas up?
It's
like, nigga, because if you accidentally message me, folks, I have a freestyler's mentality. Like, it's nothing for me to get into character immediately, right? Oh, Pete Hegseth accidentally called me? Hey, man. I have these, let's say, expletive slur for women from OnlyFans over here, and they keep asking about you. Like, it's so easy to twist one of these niggas up. Oh, my Jesus. Ain't an ounce of gangster in him. Trump's the only gangster, and he's an incompetent one.
Oh, God, yeah.
Right, like, he's a capo that kept tripping up the stairs.
Ugh, he's Cheech.
He's Cheech. In the show Forget About It. He's Cheech. And if it wasn't a comedy, he's Lefty in Donnie Brasco. Oh, he's so Lefty.
Oh, God. So the principals had apparently been assembled. All in all, 18 individuals were listed as members of this group, including National Security Council officials, Steve Witkoff, who is President Trump's Middle East negotiator, Susie Wiles, the White House Chief of Staff, and someone identified as SM, which I took to stand for Stephen Miller. So all these people are just in this chat. That was the end of the Thursday text chain. After receiving the Waltz text, I consulted colleagues. We discussed the possibility that these texts were part of a disinformation campaign initiated by a foreign intelligence service, or more likely, a media gadfly organization, the sort of group that attempts to place journalists in embarrassing positions and sometimes succeeds. I had doubts that this text was real because I could not believe national security leadership of the United States would communicate on Signal about imminent war plans. I also could not believe that the national security advisor to the president would be so reckless as to include the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic in such discussions with senior officials. The next day, it got stranger. At 8:05 on March 14th, Michael Waltz texted the group, "Team, you should have a statement of conclusions with taskings per the president's guidance this morning in your high side inboxes." High side, in government parlance, refers to classified computer communications. Joint staff is sending this, and more specific sequence of events are coming in days, and we will work with the DoD to ensure COS, OVP, and POTUS are briefed. At this point, a fascinating policy discussion commenced. The account labeled J.D. Vance said, "Team, I am out for the day, going to an economic event in Michigan, but I think we are making a mistake." Vance was indeed in Michigan that day. The Vance account went on to state, 3% of U.S. trade runs through the Suez, 40% of European trade does. There's a real risk the public doesn't understand this or why it's necessary.
Oh my God, man. I swear to fuck. They are going to accuse everyone that covers this story of doxing them. Like Elon with the fucking plane tracker thing.
Oh, God. The strongest reason to do this is, as POTUS said, to send a message. The Vance account then goes on to make a noteworthy statement, considering the vice president has not publicly deviated from Trump's position on virtually any issue. He said, "I'm not sure the president is aware how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now. There is a further risk that we see a moderate to severe spike in oil prices, and I'm willing to support the consensus of the team and keep these concerns to myself, but there is a strong argument for delaying this a month and doing the messaging work on why this matters and seeing where the economy is in a month from now." Joe Kent, who is Trump's nominee to run the National Counterterrorism Center, responded by saying, "There is nothing time-sensitive driving the timeline. We'll have the exact same options in a month." Then John Ratcliffe agreed, and then Pete Hegseth chimed in and said, "VP, I understand your concerns and fully support you raising with POTUS. Important considerations, most of which are how they play out economy, Ukraine, Gaza, etc. I think messaging is going to be tough no matter what. Nobody knows who the Houthis are, which is why we need to stay focused on 1, Biden failed, and 2, Iran funded." Okay. The Hegseth message goes on to state, "Waiting a few weeks or a month does not change the calculus. Immediate risks on waiting. This leaks. We look indecisive. Israel takes action first, or the Gaza ceasefire falls apart, and we don't get to start this thing on our own terms. We can manage both. We are prepared to execute, and if I had final go or no-go vote, I believe we should. This is not about the Houthis. This is about restoring freedom of navigation, a core national interest, and 2, reestablishing deterrence, which Biden cratered. But we can easily pause. And if we do, I will do all we can to enforce 100% OPSEC." Sorry. OPSEC is Operations Security, and I can't get over the fact he's talking about doing OPSEC in a fucking Signal thread with people who aren't even supposed to be in the group chat. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like, again, because you gotta compare it to gangsterism to some degree. This is like, let's say you get all the way up to the year 1990, and you're a gangbanger, and one of your homies dies, and there's gonna be a funeral. You don't put the funeral date and time and place in the newspaper, because they're gonna shoot up the funeral.
Right.
That is what you are doing.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes. A few minutes later, Michael Waltz posted a lengthy note about trade figures, limited capabilities of European navies. Whether it's now or several weeks from now, it will have to be the United States that reopens these shipping lanes. Per the president's request, we are working with DoD and state to determine how to compile the cost associated and levy that on Europeans. J.D. Vance responded by saying, "If you think we should do it, let's do it. I just hate bailing out Europe again." This is going to make us look great on the international stage.
Bailing out Europe as if it's a country.
As if it's a country.
Right? That's just here comes the all the continents in Africa again. Fucking Christ. I'm so tired of everybody being stupid. You're not supposed to be stupid. No one I'm so angry at every adult in my childhood. You should have warned me. You should have been like, look, man, when you get out there in the real world, yeah, like, there's gonna be consequences for your actions. You can't, like, the way some of you kids treat school, you can't treat your job like that. You gotta do your job right. There's gonna be bills. You have to learn conflict resolution. And also, the strong majority is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And some of you are gonna be the stupid ones.
Right.
Definitely you, Marcus.
Definitely you. So JD Vance is posting or texting about how he doesn't want to bail out Europe again. I don't even know what that means. I don't know the last time.
Bail out Europe.
When's the last time we bailed out Europe? I don't even know.
Right, which would be, again, bailing out Europe means you bailed out France, Sweden?
Oh my God.
Poland? Germany?
Yeah, let's see. Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Iceland, United Kingdom, Ireland, France, Germany, Belgium, Switzerland, Austria, Poland, Latvia, Slovakia, Slovenia, Russia, Czech Republic, Ukraine, Italy, Malta, Greece, fucking, I think Turkey technically counts still as Europe, fucking
Hassan,
Portugal, Spain, Armenia,
what
Croatia, fucking Bosnia,
again, this shit is
Macedonia.
Europe.
Like, come on.
And, like, the best I could think of, like, if this made sense in the person's head before they said it and after they said it, are they referencing World War II? In which I'm pretty sure them niggas over in Russia played a part?
They played a significant part. Yeah, fucking.
Woo! And I'm not even educated. Like, they have degrees. I'm throwing stuff. It was an empty bottle of sugar-free cola. I threw it. I threw the empty bottle with my left hand.
Oh, no. So he's talking about he doesn't want to bail Europe out. Hegseth responded 3 minutes later, VP, I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic, all caps. But Mike is correct. We are the only ones on the planet who can do this. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? Nobody else is even close. Question is timing. I feel like now is as good a time as any, given POTUS directed to reopen shipping lanes. I think we should go, but POTUS still retains 24 hours of decision space.
And that's a big difference, man. Like, I really would just say, like, the Democratic Party altogether, but that old fool Barack Hussein Obama, Barry Wary, right, if you're into the movie Sidekicks, he showed up and did his job.
Yeah.
Which is the right thing to do, but also, like, dealing with the Republican Party as is. And quite frankly, I would say the Republican Party since 1975, maybe 1973. Like, dealing with that Republican Party, the show up and do your job Democrats gotta be out.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not like... I don't want to be like these other cats on the left that's like, they're evil genociders. Like, that's irresponsible, childish-ass language, and you need to get your emotional regulation in order. Y'all niggas never should have taught me therapy speak. Y'all need to get that shit in order, because you're acting like a fucking baby on the internet. Like, shut the fuck up with that kind of talk. What the Democrats are, their problem is that they're good kids. Yeah. And I've said, but I haven't really said this on the mic much. I mostly say this when Phoenix and I are just talking in the car or the grocery store. And they are just the Lisa Simpson party. Like, these are people that seem to strongly believe they can just do their homework and turn it in and get a good grade and life turns out right. Mm-hmm. And no, it doesn't.
Right.
When the rest of the school, like, imagine Nelson Muntz successfully campaigned to make every other student like him.
Oh, God.
It's like, now you can't just be Lisa anymore. I'm pretty sure I had an example nearby. Yeah, I was just looking at Senator Tina Smith, right? And And Tina Smith is just a good Lisa Simpson Democrat, right? And she put a screenshot up of Tulsi Gabbard saying something about like releasing stuff is irresponsible. You can't does it. You saw that shit, and you saw Tina Smith comment was like, we're circle back on that.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody needs your little white lady office culture snarky comment right now. Like, now is the time for, like, you gotta solve some problems right now.
We want well-placed zingers, but not those kind of zingers.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I can say.
There you go. Right now, you're like a Harlem rapper. Yo, my man Cam with the well-placed zinger. And you know we claim the B, so I hit you with the stinger.
Some.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then as the group chat continues, now SM, who
Why? Why does the group chat continue?
who we think is Stephen Miller, says, as I heard it, the president was clear. Green light, but we soon make it clear to Egypt and Europe what we respect in return. We also need to figure out how to enforce such a requirement. If Europe doesn't remunerate, then what? If the U.S. successfully restores freedom of navigation at great cost, there needs to be further economic gain extracted in return. Yeah, so...
With what? But of what? What is this vague speak?
It means we're bullies and just capitulate to whatever we say.
And with us being the citizenry, this is like, okay, you know how like before a child is literate, the parents will spell like, all right, we got to start getting them ready for bed. But you're the child and you're in grade 2 at this point, and you're finding out your parents are illiterate.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck, I thought I was going to know what they were saying. They're not spelling shit. Damn it. You know what? I'm going to tell the counselor I'm being abused. I got to get in foster care or something. I got to get the fuck out of here. Yeah, they're hitting me. Whatever.
Whatever.
Jesus.
And at this point, the guy who wrote the article is still like, this can't be real. I can't just be in this group chat. And no, at this point, no one's asked who he is and why he's there. So he's just in the group chat, still is convinced it's fake. Maybe it's an AI thing. He doesn't know. And he goes, but it seems real. So then, Saturday, March 15th, is when he says the story became truly bizarre. That was when, at 11:44 in the morning, Pete Hegseth put in the Signal team update and basically said, we're going to bomb Yemen in a couple hours. And this guy was like, this cannot fucking be real. So he's like, all right, well... he said, according to Hegseth, the first detonations in Yemen would be felt in 2 hours, so at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, I was in my car in a supermarket parking lot. If the Signal chat was real, I reasoned, the targets would be bombed. At 1:55, I checked Twitter and searched Yemen. There were explosions. So it was real. He was just in the fucking group chat while they were planning a bombing. And then he doesn't he's nicer than me because I would have snitched on everybody and screenshot everything. He's not posting what they put in after the bombing started.
Make him a buster.
Right? He's like, I feel like this is national security concerns. Nick, if the federal government isn't concerned about national security, why are we? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're too scared to get clapped up. Fuck that. You gotta realize that Canada is Russia now as far as extradition goes. Fucking go to Canada, post the screenshots, and then just sit up there in whatever their version of the White House is and be like, I just live here now.
I just live here now. I'm just going to live at the embassy.
Yeah, as soon as I step out this motherfucker, there's going to be a sniper.
Yes. He does note that a couple people in the group chat said, amazing job. There was fist emojis with an American flag. Someone said, good job, Pete and your team. Kudos. God bless. Steve Witkoff responded with 5 emojis of 2 hands praying and a flexed bicep with American flags. This is how they fucking talk? This is how they communicate?
Oh God, they were talking about this in that new Netflix joint called Adolescence, where parents had to have emoji language explained.
Oh Jesus.
Which also again, man, you know what, off topic, get back to your shit, but just take the fucking devices away.
Yeah.
Just don't let kids have them. You just don't get to fucking have it. And the cold shit is, the parents letting the kids have devices, you lived your lives in the 80s and 90s without devices. Mm-hmm. You got home. Hell, some kids got home, some didn't. All right, that's a little Bill Burrish.
Milk cartons everywhere. So yeah, and so this is what's going on, and he was like, "Hey, I don't." He left the group chat. No one asked him why he left the group chat, by the way. So no one asked how he got in. No one asked why he wasn't talking. No one asked who he was, and no one asked why he left. And this is over a course of days. These are the people in charge of national security. So he wrote to Brian Hughes, who was the spokesman for the National Security Council, and was like, "Dude, why was I in this group chat, and is it real?" And apparently Brian Hughes said, "This appears to be an authentic message chain, and we are reviewing how an inadvertent number was added to the chain. But the thread is a demonstration of the deep and thoughtful policy coordination between senior officials. The ongoing success of the operation demonstrates that there are no threats to troops or national security."
What troops? Everything's a drone.
It was bombs. I don't know. I guess the pilots? I don't know.
If there were. We don't know if these were human aircraft.
So, yeah, that's what's going on. And I would just point out that, like, had this happened under Obama or Biden, fucking Republicans would have started impeachment already.
Man, Biden couldn't barely fucking talk and he didn't do this shit.
Right?
Jesus. Biden could, that nigga, he couldn't ride a bicycle. That nigga couldn't talk. That nigga couldn't hit a staircase.
Man.
And he was still holding on to what was left of his mullet. Like, when you see the back of Biden's hair, it's always the saddest thing. Like, yo, let what's left of that mullet go.
Yeah.
You should have left that at your last NASCAR experience.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. And they also note that if officials discuss military activity, they normally go to a specially designed place known as the Sensitive Compartmented Information Facility, or SCIF, which most cabinet-level national security officials have one installed in their home or communicate on only pre-approved government equipment. Normally, cell phones are not permitted inside an SCIF, which also suggests that these officials were sharing information about an active military operation, and while they might have been moving around in public, had they lost their phones or had their phones been stolen, the potential risk to national security would have been severe. So they're just not in a private place, just fucking putting this shit on Signal. I don't...
Right, but doesn't Trump just have fucking... I mean, who knows who had... Because remember, he had all that shit in his bathroom with the chandelier? Right, and he just got his shit all out at... Wasn't he at Mar-a-Lago with security papers on the fucking table?
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Just chilling.
Mm-hmm. Like, any Florida man can get those. And I've seen Florida man headlines. I know how this goes.
It's wild, yeah. So I can't fucking believe this story. Like, they really just are not doing any type of security protocol. And his base seems okay with it, and I don't understand. I don't get it.
They don't care.
I don't get it.
Because that's not actually their interest, which we gotta stress that more and more. Like, again, I hate that it kind of starts to become a platitude, but the cruelty is the point.
I mean, I get that, but also this is like... I not that they're honest people, but you would think if you're touting yourself as being like a patriotic person and you love America, you probably shouldn't be okay if like there's military operations that are, you know what I mean?
Being patriotic and loving America is, again, just another thing that you say to drown out the cruelty. Yeah, blah, blah, patriot, man. These people don't give a shit about shit but their sadism.
It is wild.
That is all they care about.
Wild.
And quite frankly, like, if you publicly complain about them doing this, that means you're showing yourself to be unhappy, and they're happy with that. They'll say, good, use Signal more, this is hilarious, it's triggering the libs.
Yeah.
Which is all that ever mattered.
So, yeah, that's just what's going on, and that's wild to me. So, yeah. I hope you feel safe knowing that this is how our national security is going.
Wow.
And if you get invited to a random Signal chat, it might be worth checking it out because it could fucking be Pete Hegseth talking about bombing Yemen.
Yeah, or it could be the next one. Just start downloading all those applications so that one of us who actually will post this shit and then run to our new embassy can get there.
Right? Like,
I'll fucking do it.
I'm just telling you, if we do that, before you post it, we need to get passports and get our ass to Switzerland.
Yep.
We're moving to Switzerland.
Yep.
Just saying.
Switch it up.
Yes.
Go ahead. Bring on that fucking that Zwarte Piet. Let's do this.
That's the Netherlands.
That's the other one.
That's the other one.
They're all white. I don't know. they're white, they're racist. I don't have any more faith in them. All right, that was your Hegseth joint. Holy shit, 30-ass minutes. Oh, wait. In 2 seconds. And boom, 30 minutes.
Okay.